Hello everyone, this is Mary Sutherland and we're doing a little live stream today. And just keep in mind that I do have a little bit of a problem as far as disconnection. So if something happens and I go down, just watch and I'll come back up again. All right. If sometimes what happens is it'll go down and then it reconnects, and that way we're really not disturbed. However, let's see, I want to make sure that we are public. Okay, so we are public, and sometimes I forget and I put it down as private, but this time we've got it as public, so anybody can watch it. Hi Jack, how you doing? Hi Shelly and Tom. I'm glad that you stopped by to listen. This is, if everything goes right, this is going to be a really interesting show tonight or today. It's going to be on Tulpoids or Tulpoids, however you want to define it. But thank you. Jack says he's doing brilliant. Thanks. Well, that's what we want. I'm going to try to do some. I want to do this first on the Tulpoids, and then if we have any extra time, I want to do a couple readings. Okay, so anyhow, how you doing, Shelly? I hope that you can make it to our party. Everyone is welcome to our party if you're in distance of it. It's going to be July 15th. That's on a Saturday. And we got some fun things. I got, for one, I have Steve Sturleson coming in, and he's going to be doing a talk on the battles of after World War II with the UFOs in Antarctica. And so we're going to be discussing UFOs in Antarctica. And then, for the fun of it, being that it's only a half an hour drive from where I live, is what we're going to do is I'm going to take you guys out to Avon Bottoms or Avon Flats, whatever you want to call it. It's a really neat place. There's been television documentaries on this. There's been radio shows on this. It's last year, Linda Godfrey actually took me out there to show me the place because nobody knew where it was. They knew it was someplace on Avon Bottoms, but that was it. So now I know exactly where it's at. So I thought that a few of you adventurous souls might want me to take you out there and show you that place where we can, so we can Bigfoot hunt, and we can look for dogman, look for footprints, and any other evidence of any activity. And if nothing else, when you watch that on TV or you hear a radio show, you can say, ah, I was there. Oh, you got a new puppy? Well, just remember Shelly. Shelly says she doesn't know she'll be able to make it or not because they got a new puppy. Well, remember, we do have that really nice kennel here. You know, it's it's on the side of our, it's on the side of the garage in the shade, and it's almost right next to where all of us will be sitting, so you'd be able to keep your eyes on the puppy, and you can always bring it in. I'm a dog lover. We got Max here, so your puppy's welcome. So anyhow, hi Sarah, hi Blake. Okay, and a few others have joined. But so anyhow, I'm going to take a bunch of you out there too. I'm going to have the canoe here. So our house sits right on the lake. So a few of you might just want to go out there and use the canoe. Got plenty of fishing, so make sure that you got your fishing poles. If not, Brad's got extras. It's on private property, so you don't need to worry about, a license or not. So, and it's a potluck, and we're just going to have a whole bunch of fun. I haven't seen a lot of you for so long, and just because I moved from the Psych by Cafe, I just don't want you thinking that that's the end of me. I'm still here, we're still friends, and we can still have fun, okay? So I kind of want to have that little summer get together with all my good friends, okay? And as far as I'm concerned, any of you guys that's watching my shows, you're all good friends. And anybody that's in my group or on my timeline, you know, you're all friends. So anyhow, there's this show today is going to be on Tulpoids. This is like the last show I did was on gin. Very few people knew about gin, so I tried to explain what gins were. But there's another phenomenon that very few people know about, and that is Tulpoids. I probably wouldn't have known about Tulpoids either, except for one time I was out dowsing. Well, I had Jolene with me and her little boy. Well, he's not a little boy anymore, but at that time he was. And he probably came up to my waist then. Probably he's like over 6 foot now. So, but I was teaching him how to use a pendulum. And when you're using a pendulum, or you're dowsing, or you're doing even mediumship, what you're doing is you kind of step into that other world. You open up like a portal, a doorway, and you kind of step into that world. And what happens is, once that doorway is open, things can come through. The Tulpoids come from what they call the mind world. And I learned this from a physicist friend of mine, Dr. Neil Boyd, because I'd never experienced it. Now, what happened with me is Jolene had said that I had this big, and I mean it was this big, a white scorpion on my face. Hi, Terry Reed. Hi, Aiden. But it was a big white scorpion. And it was about this big, but the tail went around and went right into my ear. Now, she could see it on the camera. But then when she looked directly at me, she couldn't see it. Hi, Jazz. The other day, Jazz, I was talking about gin. And, of course, you knew that. But now today I'm talking about another little-known phenomena called the mind creation of the tulpoid, or the tulpa. So, anyhow, she took a picture of this big scorpion, white scorpion that was on my face and had his tail going back into my ear. Hi, Susan. So, okay, anyhow, she showed me the picture, and sure enough, there's a scorpion there. So, okay, so we did our thing. Then I got home that night, and all of a sudden I started crying. For no reason at all. And I mean, not just crying, I mean sobbing. And I could not stop. I cried all night. I cried all the next day. I just couldn't stop. And it finally got to the point that evening that I started having an out-of-body experience. Like my soul was leaving my body. And it frightened me, and I called for Brad, and Brad took me to the hospital because I actually thought I was dying. And so the doctor gave me a shot because it caused me to have a migraine headache as well. And he gave me a shot of something that calmed me down. Hi, David Foster, Susan. And so it worked to a point. I got home. I was able to sleep, but then the next day I woke up, and all of a sudden I'm back to crying. I mean, just sobbing all over again. Brad couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it because it was like there was no reason for it. Nothing bad had happened to me. So anyhow, Brad says, well, do you want me to call somebody? And I said, who are you going to call? I said, have somebody show up with a straitjacket and put me in, a rubber room or something, And so anyhow, finally, in a couple hours, it straightened out and I was done. All right. So I contacted a friend of mine, physicist Robert Boyd, that had been dealing with metaphysical issues. And he had done some study in the Far East as well. And he told me what I had experienced was a tulpoid, which I had no, so I say, well, what's that, right? So he said when I was dowsing, or when I was using the pendulum, I had stepped into that mind world, and I pulled a tulpoid, which is a mind creation, out of that doorway, and it had attached itself to my face. And he says sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's not. In my case, what had happened was it had injected a poison into me. And this poison was used, I mean, you're either going to live through it or you're going to die. One of the two. Luckily, as you can see, I lived through it. But what it did is it took me back to all my past lives. All those places that I had been traumatized. So that I could go back, I could cry, I could release it. And the reason for it is, from what he said, is that I was being put onto a higher level of, my spiritual evolution. But I could not go any further as long as I had this baggage in my past lives of this trauma that I had not released. And so this, whatever this was that was injected in me, caused me to take me back there. And that's what all the crying was about. And because of it, I was able to be put onto a higher evolutional scale, and which opened me up to more understanding of what was going on in the dimensional world. Okay? Now, so because of it, I started studying. Now, in the haunted woods, we have tulpoids. And you'll see them as like little strings of light. They look like little serpents. And I tell people that, because you can actually see them, they actually got heads and tails. And you can see them, like lots of times, getting to somebody and opening up their mouth. And if they bite you, it's the only time I tell people it's a good thing to be bit by a snake. Because by biting you, it opens you up to a better understanding of what's going on in the spiritual realm. So, they're out there. They're invisible. But they are a mind creation. Now, and so I did a lot of study on the tulpoids after that. Now, tulpoids can be used the way it was used with me, or you can actually physically manifest tulpoids by using your mind. And some people, our governments actually use them too, as warriors, and to fight their enemy. They've used them for creating like hallucinations, illusions of like a Virgin Mother, or of Dogfoot, or Dogman, Bigfoot, UFOs. See, not only do the jinn do this, but these Tulpoids can also be created to work as an illusion. Thing is, though, that these things can actually materialize, solidify, and stay in our world. The only ones that can destroy a Tulpoid is its creator. You create Tulpoids with your thoughts. So thus, if that's the case, then in actuality, strictly through definition, because they say, biblically speaking, they say that God created us through thought. So, according to biblical definition, we are a Tulpoid. Physical manifestation based on the thought of God, from God. Now, there's another physicist, Tom Bearden, that has actually proven out these Tulpoids, and in children with their invisible friends. That's a form of a Tulpoid. Those invisible friends are actually speaking with their children, and the Tulpoid will probably stick around as long as that child needs it. And the more you think on a Tulpoid, the stronger you make that Tulpoid. Now, the Tulpoid may stick with you, or you can release it into the wild. There was demonstration or a story of that being done by a Tibetan monk that had created this this huge hairy man, that was his protector. But something happened with that where the Tibetan monk lost control of it. It actually became so strong that it was able to cut itself off from its maker and go on its own. And of course, a Tulpoid cannot be destroyed. So at some point, he's still around someplace. Now, the woods, the haunted woods. Many times people will say, Mary, we think that you are creating all the phenomena that goes on in the haunted woods. Well, there could be something to that, because I am such a believer and I am such a manifester. It would not be hard for me to be able to create a lot of the phenomena in the woods, because in the hidden world, in the invisible world, all that stuff's already there. And by using your mind, you can actually you can pull these out, or you can even create something entirely different, just piece by piece. With your mind, you can create these creatures and pull them out of this invisible world. And we've noticed that every year that we go out to the haunted woods, it becomes stronger and stronger. There was a time that there was no Bigfoot there. There was a time that we didn't know about the fairies. First of all, it started out very, very weak, the woods did. And that's where it got its name, Haunted Woods. We have a portal there, of course, so, there's a lot of strange phenomena already going on there. So if you take all that PowerPoint of the woods, with all the strange phenomena going on, with portals, opening and closing, and then you take somebody like me that's out there looking for all this strange activity, it wouldn't take much for me to start creating a lot of strange things, right? And then once they manifest, more and more of that kind manifest, because now the people are going out there. and they're looking for Bigfoot, and they're looking for fairies, and and ghosts, um, giants, blue people, little people. So now they're connecting to that mind world, and they're thinking fairies. So naturally, this mind world will start creating them and pulling them in. And because we've had thousands of people up there, thinking and expecting this type of phenomena, then based on everything that I have read on these tulpoids and experienced, and including the gin, it it was a perfect breeding ground. The Haunted Woods was a perfect breeding ground for all this manifestation. Simply, they just needed somebody to work like a conduit to put it all into action. So it's tulpoid, or plural or singular form tulpa, Tulpa, and tulpoids, Tulpoid, or add an S. Now, in my group, facebook.com/groups/Mary Sutherland, I have an article that I'm going to put up along with pictures and along with physicist Dr. Tom Bearden and physicist Boyd, so that I can actually give you scientific backing to give it credibility, and I will, and it's a nice article, and it's probably one of the very, very few articles that's ever been written on this subject. But tulpoids are very real. And now, the interesting thing, I see that Blake is here, so I kind of wanted to talk to Blake and all those other ones that are mediums as well as tarot readers. The tulpoid, being that you create that tulpoid through your mind, it's like a kid creating their imaginary friend. So here we are reading cards, or we're tapping into what we think is our higher self. We can actually be having that we're tapping into the tulpoid, because as it was demonstrated to me, when you first start tapping into that world, the mind world, and the tulpoids first start speaking to you, you're not going to be able to distinguish your voice in your mind from the tulpoid. But the more you work with a tulpoid, the more you'll be able to distinguish their voice from your voice in your mind. And they will give you information. So a lot of the mediums that are out there, or even us card readers, we have to take into consideration that instead of talking to a loved one or an angel or something like that, we could actually be creating this, like the kids do, creating our own invisible friend, our own guide that is working with us to give this information to other people. Now, tulpoids can be good and they can be bad, just like a jinn. But usually it depends on what your vibration is, what your frequency is. As long as I think that it'd be safe to say that as long as that you are maintaining that higher vibration and you don't get caught up in ego or greed or dishonesty of any kind, I think that you'll be working with a tulpoid that is of the same frequency, the same vibration. So as long as you are doing it for the right reasons, you should have no problem. but you really do need to take into consideration Tulpoids. And I will be having them on my in my group site at facebook.com/groups/Mary Sutherland. And if any of you have any questions on that, please feel free to ask me questions now, or you can ask me questions in the video or in my group. Now, if by chance we get cut off, remember I'm not done with this show, so just it's either going to reconnect me or I'll have to stop it, restart, and then go to part 2. It's not fun, it's exasperating, but I do try to have good information. Now, also, we have our psychic tarot readings today, so if anybody wants to get a reading, I'd be more than happy to give you a 1-card reading. All right, well, sometimes it happens 2 or 3, it depends on the cards. But I really wanted to make you guys, this is about it that I can explain to you about Tulpoids, but except to say that you have to ask yourself, when did dogmen come into existence? When did Bigfoot come into existence? Well, matter of fact, when did we come into existence? If we are a Tulpoid, a mind creation of God's, then and we have that same ability to create, then are these Bigfoot, these dogmen and that, are they creation of God's or are they creation of ours? And why did we create these things? It does seem that, we can go back all the way back to Nebuchadnezzar, saying that God changed him into a dog man. We can go back into Gilgamesh and learn of Dogman and Bigfoot. So as far as modern man history goes, Dogman and Bigfoot go all the way back, all the way back to our recorded history. But why is it that we have so many sightings nowadays? First of all, we thought that maybe it was because, that we're kind of encroaching on their territory. But, there's just miles and miles, acres and acres of forestry that nobody's ever stepped into. Why are they showing up in towns, looking through people's windows and things like that? Is it because people are thinking of them and are afraid of them and thinking, oh, wow, I hope I never see one? But all the time you're saying that, you're actually creating them in your mind, and the next thing you know, you have a Bigfoot or a dog man or a djinn appear. We don't dig deep enough. Now, like with me, I was a kid, drove my teachers crazy. They hated me because of the fact. It was always like, well, why? They give me an answer. Yeah, but why? Give me an answer. Why? It's just because, Mary. Just keep quiet. Okay. But why? So I was always challenging them. I always needed to dig deeper and deeper and deeper into a matter. And most people will take that surface answer and they're good with that. But I can't. I'm a truth seeker as well as most of you guys out there. And so we just have to keep asking these questions and trying to find these truths. And so, but it's like peeling off the layer of an onion, the skin of an onion. It's just, you just keep peeling and peeling and peeling, and there's always more and more answers. So anyhow, I wanted to share, since we had talked about Jinn the last time we talked, I just wanted to share something else that I knew. It's a form of magic, It can be good magic or it can be bad magic. The universe doesn't discriminate from good or bad. It is what it is. So you can use Tulpoids for, like the government using them for as warriors. You can, or tricksters, or you can use it as black magic and cause a lot of grief for others, or you can use it for good magic, white magic. And but you gotta be, because remember, our thoughts do create, our thoughts do manifest, and our thoughts just aren't on creating better lives for ourselves. We also create things from our fears, our nightmares. And so just be aware of that, okay? And so is there anybody that would like to have their cards read? If not, what I can just do is I can just give a general reading for all as well. Yari usually comes in and is always asking for a reading, but thing is, I never see it until it's all over with. And so, and I was thinking if I seen Yari in here, I would give him a reading first thing, but now, no, he's not here. So, it's funny how things work, huh? Maybe it's just sometimes you've got to, it's just not meant to be. Now, with the general reading, I always pull 3 cards. Always 3 cards. 3 is the number for manifestation. 3 is the Trinity. So I always like 3. Oh, this one's popping out. Alright, one more card. Okay. Aiden, you did a good show today. I liked it. All right. I think that that's going to be a popular show. Aiden's doing some live streaming on mysteries, unsolved mysteries, focusing on cold case files as well, and some that have actually been caught, but it's based on serial killers. Today he talked about the Zodiac killer. That I found very interesting. Now, it's apparently it's something manifesting into our world because TMJ4 just announced that this ex-cop just wrote a book on mysterious killings in Wisconsin, and I found out that that smiley face killer was actually from this area, or not. That there was several killers. So okay, foundation and achievement, throat chakras. Okay. First card comes out: victory and success. We have been going through a dark period, and a lot of confusion, a lot of fear. We just don't know where we stand in the world right now, nor does the rest of the world. So it has been bleak and dark, but the cards keep saying over and over and over again that there will be victory and success. And so that this is and the horn is, that's a sign of Gabriel, the archangel, and and he's blowing and opening up the light. So there will be victory. I don't know where it's coming from. Sometimes you just got to leave that up to those in the know, right? Which is definitely not me, okay? But we do have to speak out. This is the throat chakra. This is not a time to sit back idly and keep our mouths shut. This is a time of manifestation. So there's two forces trying to manifest. One is the dark force and the other is the forces of light. And this is not a time to be shy. We need to speak out. We see something wrong, got to speak out about it. But we also have to keep in balance and think of, okay, it's wrong, but what could we do to make it better? Now this is where patience and planning comes involved. Okay, we have to be patient, but it's like the throat chakra. We do have to come up with our own plans. We may not be able to change the world, per se. Well, we can, but it's going to start with us. We as in number one, it starts with us. And then through our example, others will pick up. And this is a building stage. We build a foundation, a strong foundation for others to build off of. And this was the last card that was given to me and see, again, it says foundation and achievements. Again, we build. We may not like what we see, but there will be rainbows coming into our life. You know, a home of rainbows. So there is good things. Victory will come. But we can't rely on others to do it for us. We have got to help build the foundation. Each and every one of us has to build a solid brick. And that solid brick can be added to the rest of the bricks. And we will build that home together. See, here's the home. And there's the people. We build it together as a family. All right? So right at this point in time, we need to, because it is a time of darkness, misunderstanding, chaos, etc. Best thing for us to do is say, okay, I don't want this. This is something I know I don't want. Okay? And then you learn from it. Why don't I want it? What disturbs me about this? How does this apply to me? How can I make it better? The first place you have to start, and a lot of people forget this, the first place you have to start is building you. You have to love yourself, because you're like the farmer in the field. The field will grow, and it will multiply, and it will feed many people. But if something happens to that farmer where that farmer can't go out and plant that seed and tend to those fields and water it, nurture it, then the field, it will die. Simply because the farmer didn't take care of himself. Okay? The farmer can't depend on others to take care of that field. That's his field. That's his brick to the foundation of victory for a new life to come. So you have to be strong. You have to like yourself. You have to love yourself. Can't make excuses of why you don't love yourself. Well, you know, like, something happened in my past. My mom and dad were mean to me. I'm black. I'm white. I'm a woman. Forget it. Stop it. That's manifesting Tulpoids. That was going to reinforce all those which will create demons to reinforce all that darkness that you're feeling. You want to create guardian angels. You want to create helpers. You want to create circumstances that will give you that better life. Because you're the farmer, so if you get that better life, everyone is going to prosper from it. You become greedy, no one. Then you kind of like the pendulum's swung to the other side. You're being taken care of, but you're hoarding it. Thus, the field dies too. So you want to find that in between, that balance, okay, where you're taken care of, which enables others to be taken care of. Aiden says that the next story is on Ed Gein or Ted Bundy. Two very good ones. Ed Gein is a really fascinating, is a very fascinating person, because, like Ted Bundy, Aiden was, he was a sociopath, a psychopath. It was all about him. He hoarded. It was only to make him happy, only to satisfy his needs. And I write this in my book, Behind the Mask, where I kind of profile different serial killers. And with it, but now, worst of the worst, well, kinda, was, I guess when you're dying, getting killed, it doesn't make any difference who's the worst of the worst, because the worst of the worst is the one that's killing you, right? But I write that Ted Bundy was a psychopath. It was all about him, all about taking care of his needs. Whereas, even though Ed Gein was a cannibal, and he did kill. He not only dug up graves, but he also killed. And but with Ed Gein, he was mad as a hatter. I mean, he was, I mean, batshit crazy, you know. So you see, there's different degrees in profiling the serial killers. So anyhow, in my book, Beyond the Mask, Profiling the Criminal Minds, I write about both Ted Bundy and Ed Gein. John Wayne Gacy, another psychopath. Jeffrey Dahmer, as far as I'm concerned, Jeffrey Dahmer was the biggest psychopath of them all, because he was actually able to convince psychologists, the priest, and all those guys that he had turned himself into a Christian, and he felt bad of his ways, and he would never ever do anything like that again. BS. That was just a game he was playing with them. So, he was a very evil person. And then you got Charles Manson and Jack the Ripper. Did you know that they're actually considering letting Charles Manson get out of prison? I heard that on the news. Crazy, huh? Jack the Ripper, if you're going to do anything about them, always take into mind that our group actually has his great-grandson in, Jeff Mulgett. And there's very strong evidence, and I even thought this even before I met Jeff, that there's very, very strong evidence that Jack the Ripper actually was Chicago's serial killer H.H. Holmes. There's several books that's written on it. There's Jeff is in the works right now with a top movie producer. I think that they're actually filming it now. What's his name? DiCaprio. The one that was the movie star that was played the star in Titanic. I can't say it. Capaccio. Anyhow, it's very famous. He's going to be playing the part, I believe, of H.H. Holmes. And we're all looking forward to the release of that movie. And I think they're also doing some sort of a television documentary too. So, um, yeah, it it's crazy them letting him go. But hi Claire, how you doing? How you doing, sweetie? Prayers are. I ask all of you to put prayers out for Claire, because Claire is she's undergoing cancer treatments, and Brad had to go through that as well, Claire, and um, made him sick. Naturally, the chemo and radiation, but he's still here, and that was 5 years ago, if not longer. Thank you, Leonardo DiCaprio. Thank you. Yeah, he's gonna be playing H.H. Holmes, and Jeff Mudgett is his great grandson, and he's in our group. So just kind of, if you want to learn more about it, just kind of click onto his name, uh, and friend him on Facebook. He shares quite a lot with all of us. Um, Anyhow, there's doesn't seem like too many of you want readings today, huh? No readings. Goodness sakes. Apparently everybody had a good 4th. Unfortunately, here in Winslow, right outside of Winslow, there was somebody that was killed on a motorcycle. Then several weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, almost on that same road, someone else had a serious motorcycle accident. There's a biker's bar down here in Winslow, and I think that what people do is they come down, they have, too many drinks, and, builds up the confidence. They hit those real sharp corners just a little bit too fast, and the wheels come out from underneath the bike, and it's all over. But anyhow, Cynthia, sure, I'll give you a reading. Okay. You betcha. As the Minnesota people say, you betcha. By golly. Oops. I don't know. Let me see. That's too crazy. Okay, one fell out. I'm not sure of it, so I'm going to do a couple more cards for you. Okay. Knock on wood, the internet's been holding up, so hallelujah to that, huh? Whoops, here we go. Well, what I'm seeing, Cynthia, is trapped in fear. But of course, that goes with all of us right now. That was the general reading, that we're all basically trapped right now in fear. But there is there's light at the end of the tunnel. But you do need to do a little bit of rest so that you can rejuvenate. Does that make sense to you, Cynthia? Was there something, a question or anything you had? I'm going to expand this. If there's a question on these two cards, then you can feel free to ask. Cynthia. Do you have any questions on this? Hi, Natalie. You'll take one? Alrighty, Aiden. Okay, so apparently Cynthia didn't have any comment about that. Let's see what Aiden's is. Aiden. Well, there's your Cynthia says that her brother was having surgery today, but his blood pressure is low, so might reschedule. Okay, well, apparently, I was picking, the cards were picking up on your brother and your feelings towards that. Rest and rejuvenation and trapped in fear. Okay. Well, haha, Aiden. Love begins. It's a good one. New begin, and it's also that one is a sign for new beginnings. Um, you got the rainbow in the bowl. The water is spiritual. Green, that you're seeing all that green, that's new growth. So, okay, so congratulations. Something good's coming. Love can come in many ways, you know. Um, yeah, Cynthia, I think that that's what those cards were about. You're trapped in fear right now, but rest and rejuvenation. So it looks like that. Actually, I would say that both of you, after the surgery is done, is going to need some rest and rejuvenation. It's taken a lot out of both of you. Oh yes, Eden says, love, 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 love. That's a good thing. Love is always a good thing. Always a good thing. Anybody else want a reading? We got about 5 more minutes left of the show. I hope that you enjoyed the show. For those that didn't get to hear the first part of it, it will be coming up shortly on my timeline, as well as on the in my group. But like I said, in my group, I am going to have an article with pictures of explaining more about the Tulpoids. But I think that a lot of you should read up on Tulpoids. It's very, very interesting. See, there's so many different things going on in this world that we're not even aware of, you know? So many different things. And so this one popped up for me. Patience and planning. See, that was remember that was part of that general reading I gave? Cynthia got it, and again, and I got it again too. Patience and planning. And that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm trying to have some patience and planning, because there's some information coming to me and I just don't have it yet, and I'm just and I'm just, I have to wait. I have to be patient and to make further plans. Cynthia, I did the same thing with Blake's show. Remember the last time I did the show? I says I got to get off at 3 because Blake's doing the show. Well, Blake's was at Eastern time. And so I was actually doing my show right over Blake's. I really felt bad about that. Cynthia, you can watch the show in just a few minutes, okay? Because I'm going to have it up. I think it's an important show. It was on Tulpoids, and I think it's really neat how Tulpoids work. There's just, you know, we haven't even scratched the surface as to all the things that's going on around us, all the different things, phenomena that's in play. You know, I know that we have free will, but I mean, free will works only to a certain point, because I mean, we have to know what we're dealing with before we can make a proper decision on anything. Okay? And so I'm hoping that I can use this show to educate you as to what I know, and hopefully others that are joining our shows and joining our groups will help also to be part of that network in building that bridge for others to to cross. That's my hope, my desire. I think all of you guys that's been watching my shows are just absolutely wonderful. We don't have anyone negative in our groups. They're, you know, I don't think I could ask for a better group than what I've got. Bless you all for that. Please remember to tell people about our shows. To get them to go over to facebook.com/groups/Mary Sutherland and have them join, because the more people that we have join, the more power we have with our voice, okay? And since we're the good guys and we're out there trying to do something good for everybody, then we gotta be just as well known as the bad guys, right? So let's build that foundation, take good care of ourselves, love ourselves, build that foundation, and be the farmer of that field and just spread those seeds far and wide. Hi, Rick Russell. We were just now ending the show. But there will be another show tomorrow, and there will be an archive show popping up probably in the next 5 minutes. And remember to go to the groups and read this article that I did on the Tulpoids. And I also got an article, I believe, up in my groups on the gin. Somebody wrote about the gin that they were mean and destructive, and but that's not necessarily true. But we have to figure out where I'm trying to come from, is trying to figure out what these dog men are, what these Bigfoot are. And remember, I'm inviting you to my birthday party, July 15th. That's on a Saturday, potluck dinner. And if you're going to have wine, bring your own wine, bring your own drinks. But we're going to be canoeing going on, fishing going on. Steve Spearson's going to be talking about UFOs in the Antarctica. And we're going to do a little jog over by Avon Flats, and that had that documentary on television and radio about dog men and Bigfoot of Avon Bottoms. So we're going to do that too. Rick, hi Mary, my grandson might be here tonight. Pray for us. Why does that frighten you, having your grandson here? Pray for us? I don't. Yeah, I know, but I know, Cynthia, that you say, I wish I lived closer, but you would do. You're right here with us. You're on the shows. You're in my heart. You're in our minds. So you might not, and you'll be here. What I might do is maybe video a little bit of that, the birthday party, take pictures, so that all of you can be part of it, even though you're not here. How's that? Well, Aiden, we need to talk about that. You encountered a dog man. Maybe we can catch it on the next show. Oh, wonderful. Aiden's going to do a live stream on his encounter with dogmen. You should also, Aiden, contact Vic Kundo. He has Dogman Encounters radio show, and he's always looking for stories. So anyhow, my love to all of you, and congratulations. This did not one time shut down. We had a show that went all the way through. Ta-da, ta-da. go. You can. This show is pretty well sponsored by my troll site, or my Little Bits collectible store, where we sell metaphysical products, UFO, paranormal, dolls, books, hard to find and rare books. Go to Living in the Light, ms.com/little bits, LITLBITS, little bits, and check out what our store has. And let's see, and check out burlingtonnews.net, because there's a search engine on burlingtonnews.net. That's not a Google search engine. My site is so big that I have my own private search engine. So if there's anything you got questions on, type in that topic, hit search, and that will open up all the pages I have on that particular topic. It's nice. And then of course the UFO radio is still out there in the archived shows. You have to become a member, and I think that's burlingtonnews.net/members. Or no, I'm sorry, membership. burlingtonnews.net/membership. And of course, please support me with my trolls. livinginthelightms.com/trolls. TROLLS. This is Mary Sutherland, 7'6". My grandson is celebrating his golden birthday today. He is 6 years old. He was born today, and so wish him a happy birthday. Keep good thoughts in your head for my grandson Gage's birthday. Love you guys. Mwah. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll catch you probably tomorrow, huh? You take care. Mwah. Here we go. Bye-bye.